What's going on, guys? My name is Ted, bringing you all a video today for the LG Optimus G. This phone recently got announced. I've actually already done a video on it a long time ago, but because I took the video basically a month ago before it was officially announced, a lot of the information was wrong in it. So I wanted to give you guys a thorough, accurate representation of what this phone is going to be like when it comes out. It's arriving in Korea next week, and it'll be arriving in the rest of the world as early as November, so we're hoping to see it before Christmas at least. But let's get into the phone and what makes it so fantastic. So the number one standout quality about this phone is it's coming with a 13 megapixel rear-facing camera. This is 5 megapixels above anything we've ever seen before. Most of the high-end devices have an 8 megapixel camera. This phone's coming with a 13 megapixel camera. That's absolutely phenomenal. I don't even see that in some of the full-range cameras these days. 13 megapixels is fantastic. The only downside to this is here in America, and in some places here in America, this is a place where they were vague as well. You'll only be getting an 8 megapixel camera because of the antenna. There's not enough room for the antenna and all the cores, so they had to beef it down to an 8 megapixel camera for some places over here in America. So we'll have to wait for the phone to actually get released to see if Americans are going to be able to get this 13 megapixel camera. But let's move on to what else makes this phone so great. Another fantastic quality of this phone, which is also amazing, is the quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro processor that's coming stock with this device. Snapdragon S4 Pro is the current best processor for any mobile device. It's my personal opinion. They're lesser in graphics, but they're more as far as benchmark speeds go and how fast and smooth your device is going to perform. And the quad core is absolutely fantastic. We've only seen dual cores up to this point in technology. Next month, the Galaxy Note 2 is coming out with the first quad core Exynos processor for America. And then in November, we're seeing the Snapdragon S4 Pro quad core processor, which is going to be the new staple, hopefully, of high-end devices. As far as the screen goes, you're coming with a 4.7-inch IPS LCD display. That's at 1280 by 768 pixels. This is about 300 pixels per inch, very similar screen pixel density to that of the Galaxy S3, which is the current flagship device for over here in America at least. And this is a really good resolution. It's always important to have a big screen on a nice phone. And one thing that the Optimus G does very well is they've got a small bezel. So although the phone screen is very big, the phone itself is a lot smaller than some of the other 4.7-inch screen phones you're going to find, because the bezel, which is like the outer perimeter of the phone, is quite a bit smaller. It's very close to the screen, and it hugs the screen a lot. That way you're going to get a much smaller device, even though it's a much bigger screen. Really cool technology, and they've really packed a lot into this small device. One negative feature of this phone, one of the two negative features, of this phone is the operating system. It comes with Android 4.0.4, which is the second oldest version of Android. Currently Jelly Bean's the newest version, and then you've got Android Ice Cream Sandwich, which is 4.0.4. It's kind of strange that it would make such a flagship device ship with an old operating system. I really don't understand that. The Galaxy Note 2 coming out next month is going to have Jelly Bean, and it should start a trend of every high-end device should have Jelly Bean from here on out. But it's unfortunate this one's coming with only Ice Cream Sandwich, so hopefully we'll see an upgrade to Jelly Bean within the upcoming months, but as it stands right now, it's only getting shipped stock with Ice Cream Sandwich. The next feature of this phone that I really don't like is that it has a non-removable 2100 milliamp hour battery. And this isn't very good. 2100 milliamp hour is not going to power 4 cores and that big of a screen for very long. Unfortunately, it's a kind of unbalanced that they would make it so you can't remove the back. It would be a little bit better if maybe you could add in a second battery, say that you run out of battery life on one battery, and you can buy a second battery. That way when your first battery dies, you can throw in another one. Or maybe you could have a double battery like I have on my Galaxy S3, and that way you've got a bigger back, but you're trading that in for a lot of battery power. Unfortunately, they don't give you the option here. It's a non-removable battery pack, so you're just going to be having your phone sitting on the charger for a long time, and that's rather unfortunate. Moving on to the front-facing camera, you're sitting at 1.3 megapixels. This records in 720p HD, which is very good, but 1.3 megapixels is kind of small considering they've got a 13 megapixel rear-facing camera. I would have liked to see something like a 3 megapixel front-facing camera to kind of keep up with the trend of beating the other phones. As far as your RAM and your ROM goes, you're coming with 2 gigabytes RAM, which is pretty good. It's good multitasking. And you're coming stock with 32 gigabytes of your ROM, so that means that you got plenty of space to store all your music, all your photos, all your contacts, things like that. Anything that plus take up space, you're not going to have much trouble filling up room for. It also comes with the ability to have a 64 gigabyte MicroSD card, which is really good, so you can have upwards of 98 gigabytes on this device. That's tons of storage, more than you're ever probably going to need for a cell phone. If you need more than that, then I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. Moving on to the clock speed of your processor, this is also very important. I should have mentioned this earlier. The quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro processor is clocked at 1.5 gigahertz. So that means that you've got 4 individually clocked processors running at 1.5 gigahertz each. That means you're going to have a ton of power for your device. Any of your applications and all your startup times are going to be really, really quick. You're going to have smooth transitions throughout your entire device and really sleek design, as well as with that Android 4.0.4. A lot of user interface additions with Android Ice Cream Sandwich. So that's a good thing. Your phone's going to be beautiful. It's going to look beautiful. It's going to act beautifully. The only problem is it's going to die really fast. So that's the only problem. I'd say that the battery pack, being a non-removable one, is very bad. One last thing I'll get to with this device is it is NFC enabled, and the design of the device, which is like the actual shell of it, is very attractive. It's got a nice diamond design on the back. And LG tries to make their phones look like jewels, like shimmering jewels. I don't really understand that concept. I think it's personally a little silly. But the phone does look very nice. It's a nice, sleek design. I'll leave a photo throughout the video so you can see the actual design of the phone. But it does look very nice, and this is a very, very high-end device that's going to be coming out in just November for us Americans. And throughout that time period between next week and November, other countries are going to see it as well. I just know Korea is getting it first, and they're getting it just next week. So if you live in Korea, good for you. You'll be getting this device next week. If you live over here in America or maybe over there in Europe, you're going to have to wait a couple months for it. Other than that, guys, I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions about the device, leave them down below. If I got anything wrong, leave it down below. I hope I didn't. I've got pretty accurate sources. But if I did mess anything up, I'll leave it down below, and I'll credit you in the description of this video. That way I can make sure I correct any of my changes. Nothing I hate worse than being wrong about something and giving all the wrong information. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something new. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're into Android products. I post a lot of Android product-related news, and I basically just keep you guys updated on the latest and greatest Android stuff. So other than that, guys, have a great day, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.